My recent win that I shared was the fact that I got a new client. I did so before I launched, and I did it without social media.
Wow. How did being in the group help you do that?
One of the things that you talked about in the 5-day challenge was you just need, one buyer. You talk about just one yes a lot. And you talk about those first buyers being in like your group chats. That's
Yeah.
what happened with me. I was at a point where I was feeling very stalled in my business. When I joined, I also was joining for me of like, let me get into that mindset, into that motivation and that accountability to get to that next 5K. And so now I'm $2,000 closer to that. So I'm excited about that.
What are the fundamentals of making $100? All comes back to the same thing. It's creating your offer. It's then promoting it. It's then how do you sell? How do you actually convert someone who's interested into a client? How do you put that on autopilot so that can happen while you sleep? That is whether it's the first $100 or the first $100,000.
My recent win that I shared was the fact that I got a new client and I did so before I launched. So I have a launch that I'm planning in the next couple of weeks. And even before I launched, I got a new client for my offer and I did it without social media.
Wow. And first of all, where'd you get the earrings? Because they're amazing.
They are from an awesome company called Slices of Citrus. They do a lot of different veggies and fruits, all encased in organic resin. So yeah, I love them.
I love that. So you'll send some people there for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, how did being in the group help you do that?
I've been following you for a while. I got a chance to go to Your First Million Live last year.
Oh,
And
wow.
that was really exciting. So when I actually saw an ad it was about someone who used your YouTube tips. And that's what got me interested in joining the community because I wanted to get access to that YouTube information because I've really been working on that this year. And as I've been in the community, just knowing I've been in your other school groups as well, I know there's a lot of energy there. There's a lot of cool supporting and things like that. And so with this community in particular, I like how you are approaching people reaching their first or next $5,000. And it's just this very energetic of like, just kind of do it and breaking it down. So with like that 5-day challenge, you talk about a lot of good things of really just putting yourself out there and doing the thing. So in general, I did get this client through community. One of the things that you talked about in the 5-day challenge was you just need, one buyer. You talk about just one yes a lot. And for me, and you talk about those first buyers being in like your group chats, being in groups in general. So that's
Yeah.
what happened with me. I was in a community. We have an accountability group. We meet once a month and we help each other out. We give support in different areas. And so I've been sharing my knowledge with the group and been helping some of the group members. I helped them like reviewing their freebie. And then from that, they looked at my website. And so the last time that we met, I was explaining how important it is to have video content, even when you're doing in-person networking and events, because what are people going to do? They're going to go be nosy, check you out. And so it's a very good compliment for that. And so the way that I explained it, and because we had built up that relationship in the community, afterwards, she emailed me and she's heading to an event next month. And she was asking me if the project could be completed by then. And I was like, most definitely. And then she was ready to get started. And so, yeah.
Well, that's so cool. Okay, so you took the 5-day challenge. Did this happen during the 5-day challenge or?
It happened right before the 5-day challenge, but I was getting like, yeah, because I think the 5-day challenge was like I joined the group on the 22nd and I was
Right.
getting really excited about all the community members and seeing people win and just putting themselves out there. And
Yeah.
so I made sure that on my end, I was updating because I was getting ready to launch and I haven't actually shared this link publicly with a lot of people, but it's in my email signature. And so
Mm.
I was making sure that I was preparing myself for a yes. So I started updating everything because I hadn't updated that site in a while. And I'm glad I did because it was a different price before. And so I
Oh.
was updating everything with that and just being very open-minded of like where I could find my next client. Even though I knew I was planning on launching, I wanted to get started right away. Like
Yeah.
what are some ways that I can bring in? So with that community, I was feeling a little tired that day, but I knew I was like, I want to go ahead and go to this and continue to community build because it's such an important aspect. And so, yeah, so I went
Yeah.
ahead and I'm glad that I did.
I want to be able to be as helpful as possible to the viewer. So one of the things I know they're asking is what is the offer that you're giving? It has to do with content, but what exactly is it? And if you can say the price point today, that'd be cool.
Absolutely. Just to like track a little bit. I know I said my name, but like, so I'm Crystal, and I am the go-to hype gal and visibility strategist for introverted, energy conscious women in wellness. I help them shine like the star they are online and off in a way that feels authentic, easeful, and actually sustainable so they can attract aligned clients and opportunities. Officially, my title is the CEO of 2 Geek Marketing. So this offer that I give is called Video Series Jumpstart. And so this is a simple, it takes about 3 hours total. We start off with a strategy session, a content clarity session, where we get clear about what it is that you want to do to attract people to your lead magnet. So whether you have a lead magnet, or you have a newsletter, or maybe you're doing a discovery call, we determine like what that is, talk a little bit about your audience, messaging, all that good stuff in the strategy call. And then I will actually create that content for you. So I create a 4-part video series to attract those clients to that lead magnet, to your newsletter, or whatever that entry point is that you want to bring them to. And so we can optimize this for YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, but LinkedIn and YouTube are those main platforms that I focus on. And so, yeah, so it's a 90-minute strategy session and then a 90-minute filming session. It can be
Yes.
done virtually or in person. I'm based in San Diego, so you can come out here to my studio, or I can travel to you if you want to make those type of arrangements. And you get edited videos, you get captions, just everything you need to get started, which is why I call it Video Series Jumpstart.
So it's for YouTube and LinkedIn. Is it long form or is it real out?
Long form. So this is focused, and when I say long form, or more like, I would say more like medium. So these videos are anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes long each.
Yeah, so the horizontal ones.
Yes,
And
exactly.
then what's the price point for it today? And it can always go up, but what's the price
Yeah.
point today?
So today, the virtual version is $1,500 and the in-person version is $2,000 as long as you've doing it here in San Diego.
Yeah, and they get 4 videos, you said?
Yes, they get 4 edited
Okay.
videos plus the captions, plus the, like if, for example, if they're going to do it on YouTube, they will get those thumbnails as well.
Oh, wonderful. So the reason I wanted you to explain it all the way through is that people struggle to figure out what their offer is.
Hmm.
And it is like your offer is so valuable. You figured out a pain point. People are wanting more and more to have that personal branding, and they should, even if they don't think they should, that you know they should. And you want to like make the ability for them to do that with no friction. So you're
Yeah.
like, I got the solution for you. You have a pain point. I have a solution for you, and this is the price for it. And then you figure out all the logistics in between. So
Yeah.
that's very cool. I love that. So and I think the other thing that I heard is that you just went for it. You know, have you in the past struggled with launching? Has that been a problem before?
Yes, I am definitely a recovering perfectionist.
Yeah.
And so it can be hard. And so I know I got this client a little bit for the challenge, but since the challenge, I have been using your prompts and I've just been putting it out there before it's perfect. So I took that $100 offer idea as something that could be a league way into this video series jumpstart. And so I posted that on LinkedIn. I've done it on Instagram, on my stories, and letting people know like, hey, this is how you can work with me before this launch, and then the price goes up.
If someone is watching and they don't know if they should join your first 5K or what the 5 day challenge, like why is it important to them? Can you talk a little bit about somebody coming in new, why that would be helpful to them?
So I think this is so helpful. So I think you market it as like your first 5K, but for me, it was like that next 5K. And I did it I talked about it in my intro, but I was at a point where I was feeling very stalled in my business because of some of that perfectionism. I wanted to get things right. And so when I joined, I also was joining for me of like, let me get into that mindset, into that motivation and that accountability to get to that next 5K. And so now I'm $2,000 closer to that. So I'm excited about that. But I would say to join, like the community in there is so great. And it's a lot of enthusiasm in there. There's a lot of people supporting each other. And other thing too, I've learned so much from you of how you are supporting the community and giving back, which makes that it's all about the environment that you create, right? And so you've been very generous of like helping people with the challenge, making a whole course of like for the affiliates and how you can create income with that. Like just
Yeah.
so many wonderful ways that you've been helping the community. And so I've been learning from that. And I have been figuring out a referral system on my end. So yeah, so I can do something similar. So I've been learning from you from that. And so even outside of the direct content that you're giving, I'm learning from you from just the way that you are managing the group, the things that you're doing in the group has been really cool. And again, those connections, that is just so important with anything. Just like I said, I made that connection with the community I was in to get that client. I am making genuine connections in there. Like I'm helping out where I can. Like I saw someone, they were needing help with creating a form and I happened to see it and they were like in a panic. So I gave my suggestions and just giving, just helping out where I can. And so that is very important to me. And I'm seeing a lot of that in the group.
Yeah, like you said, people pour into the group, and we are right now, as we film this, the second most popular group in the money category of school. And the money category is so large, they had to stop the list at 1,000.
Oh,
Or
wow.
two. And there are two different ways you can get on this list. One way is to have like the most money that you made, and the other way is to have the most engagement, like the most engagement from the members and from the host. And that's what we're doing. And I don't think that people realize how much I'm in that group. I think people are
Yes.
like, "Oh yeah, you're just kind of talking about it," but I'm in that group. I enjoy it, and I everybody is like, your first 5K, in your case, it's your next 5K and your 2K on the way. For other people, it's going to be your first 100. That's why I had the 5-day challenge of, if you're not used to making money online or making money for yourself, you're used to working for someone else. That
Mhm.
bridge is what I'm looking for to help people with. And once you do it once, you're going to go out there and do it over and over again. And when people see the results of the first person,
Mhm.
have even more to show for it, and you can raise your prices and you can just keep going.
And I've gotten so much, even though, and it's interesting because at first I was like, oh, do I want to go to this challenge? It's talking about, it's $100. And I'm like, I want more than $100. But I was
Yes,
like, let me go and go through it. And I'm so glad I did because even if you're not at a beginner level or you're trying to make your first sale from your business, I found a lot of value still in that course. You talk about that mindset, talking about that readiness comes after action, right? And so all
yeah,
these things that you're talking about, regardless of what stage it still matters. Like I said, I was in a stall, and so me being ready, taking the action that still applied, of getting into that mindset of that just one yes, that still applied. So the things that you of how I'm going about, and just letting people know, like just DM
yeah,
me if you have this. So like those things still apply. You can use it for different price ranges of services. It doesn't have to be that $100. It's so
absolutely.
much that you put into that challenge that can be applied beyond that.
And to that point, in Arlen's All Access, which is where I'm teaching people how to go from 5K to 100,000 in 12 months, I put the 100-day challenge replay
Mhm,
into that membership because I said, if you can make more than $5,000 on your own, this is going to make it even, like, it'll crank that up for you. So you can always learn. I learn in these, when I'm having conversations with people, I'm always kind of in the trenches thinking about, okay, if I need to make 10,000 or I want to make 10,000, I need to first think about, how do I make 100?
mhm,
What are the fundamentals of making $100? All comes back to the same thing. It's creating your offer, which is what day one of our challenge. It's then promoting it. It's then day three is, what if you don't have an audience to promote it to?
yeah,
But day two is like, how do you promote it? What do you say? The scripts, everything. Day
mhm,
four is, how do you sell? How do you actually convert someone who's interested into a client? And then day five is, how do you put that on autopilot so that can happen while you sleep? And that is whether it's the first $100 or the first $100,000. And
mhm,
that's why it's so fundamental and exciting to take it even more than once. So it's
yeah.
on replay, it's available right now. And I would encourage people, if they want to get to know you, if they want to like hear from you, learn from you, they can go into the membership as well. Okay, and then what is next for you? What do you think is going to happen next? So you just kind of focused on that first client and then go into the moon, or what's the next thing?
Yeah, so we actually had our strategy session. So part one of that today, that
Ooh.
went so amazing. Super excited. In a couple of weeks, we're going to do the filming session here in San Diego. So I cannot wait for that. What's next for me is really getting more people into this, helping more people. The part that I'm really excited about it is combining, like, yes, I love social media, I love content, but
Mm,
as someone who works in the wellness space and focus on that community, I really want that in-person connection as well. And so just letting people know of how can you translate your offline, personality and everything, and how can you translate that online? Because a lot of people struggle with that, especially if they're introverted or camera shy.
Yeah.
And so I'm really excited to helping more people be able to do that. I have a quiz that's coming out soon that will help people find out their easeful content style so they can find the best way to ease into video. And then from that, that's going to be leading them to that video series jumpstart offer.
So I think everybody should listen to this quiz. Quizzes are really interesting ways to help people learn what offers you have, learn what offers you need, like learn what offers the customer needs of yours. And it's a very smart strategy. And so definitely look at what we're saying, but look at what we're doing. Just like the way that you look at what I'm doing inside the membership, it's
Mhm.
not always what we just say right out. It's always about that observation. And the last thing I want to mention is your first million live. You were there at the original one, 2024. We are coming back in 2026, and I cannot wait for it. Can you
Yes.
just say a little bit about your experience at your first million live, just because I'd love to hear, because I didn't get to talk to many people because it was 2,000 people and I was, hosting.
Yeah, you were doing, yeah, like when you don't play, when you say you're in the trenches, you really are. Even at the event, you were just really, accessible in doing the hosting, making sure things were going good. And it was a phenomenal event. I really enjoyed it. What was really cool is that I got to see people. I love seeing, again, that community. I love seeing people that I had met online and then they were there. Some I expected, some I didn't. That was really cool. You had some amazing speakers. I
Mm,
love being able to hear from Gary Vee, from Issa Rae, and they were just so real and raw with us. And
you
the
were.
panels and the interviews that you were doing, like it wasn't just like fluff kind of things. These were like real, tangible insights as well as real, tangible stories. Because people, once you reach a certain maybe milestones or achievements, people it kind of feels like this disconnect. And so I really enjoyed hearing, people's stories and how they started and where they came from and to where they are now, because it's so many times people may count themselves out or feel like, well, this, I came from this or this happened to me and so I can't do XYZ, but that's definitely not true. And so you had a lot of people there who were able to, showcase what they had to persevere through and what, that commitment and the dedication to get to the heights that they were today. And so that was really good. It was, like I said, really well put together, amazing speakers, great community, and I can't wait for the next one.
Awesome. Thank
Lots
you.
of dancing. It was fun.
Oh, lots of dancing. Oh,
Yeah. Oh,
yes,
the kids.
yes.
Yeah, that
It's
was
so
that was
cool.
awesome.
So fun. We're coming back. We'll have more information soon. You can go to the description to join your first 5K or join Arlen's All Access. Whichever one you choose, you're going to have an amazing group of people that you get to work with. And I can't wait to meet everyone who's coming in. I know they're going to go find your earrings. I know. What is your website if they
Yes,
want
my
to?
website is Crystal to Geeked. That's CrystalToogekd.com. So you can find everything about my latest offerings, all that stuff. And I'm Crystal to Geeked on all the platforms, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, all
Oh,
that good stuff. Yeah.
Crystal 2TOO
Uh-huh.
Geeked. Yes.
Yeah. Like excited. Yes.
Geeked.
Excited, nerdy, all that stuff. Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.